Have you ever looked at a planet and felt like something was watching you back? Today, we're not looking at Earth, we're looking at Mars. A cold, silent world, empty, or is it? In 2021, a single photo taken by NASA's orbiter revealed something buried deep in the Martian dust. Two strange tracks, a perfect silver disk, and a mystery no one could fully explain. Was it a rock, a failed machine, or something not of this world? This isn't science fiction. This is real data, real images, real questions. And tonight, we're going to look closer than anyone ever has. You may never see Mars the same way again. Welcome to X-Site. In the silent cold of space, 140 million miles from Earth, a lonely satellite circles a forgotten world. Since 2006, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has captured more than 7 million images of the red planet. Its dunes, craters, and canyons endlessly frozen in time. But it wasn't until 2021 that one image whispered back. Zoom in. Through the red mist of Martian dust, two long, parallel tracks slice across the barren surface. They do not twist. They do not scatter like random geological patterns. No, they are deliberate. Two straight, symmetrical lines running side by side for dozens of meters, etched into the regolith like the skid marks of a falling object. And then they stop. At the end of the trail, half sunk into the ground, lies something alien to the Martian landscape. A silver disk, faintly reflective under the harsh sunlight. Its edge a perfect crescent, smooth, unbroken, unnaturally round. It does not look eroded, it does not look ancient, it looks recent. As if it crash-landed just yesterday and no one came to retrieve it. George Haas, director of the Cydonia Institute, saw the image and froze. This was no coincidence of rocks, no shadow trick. He measured, re-examined, studied pixel by pixel. The object, he concluded, was 12 to 15 meters in diameter, too wide for a probe, too intact for a meteor, too perfectly shaped to be natural. Could it be a flying saucer, broken, grounded, and now half buried beneath alien sands? And if it was, who built it, who flew it? And why did they fall here on this silent world, so far from Earth and from help? Mars is not what it once was. Before the dust storms, before the empty deserts, before the cold silence, it was alive. Not with forests or birds or oceans like Earth, but with something else. A civilization. Many researchers believe that Mars was once blue, with running rivers, deep lakes, and even shores where waves may have kissed red rock. And where there is water, there can be life. Among these believers is Haas himself, and many at the fringe of planetary science. They speak of the Cydonians, a mysterious Martian people said to have risen in the region of Cydonia, where NASA once captured the haunting image of a stone face staring skyward in 1976. This so-called face on Mars sparked decades of debate. Pareidolia, some said, just rocks, but others saw more. Because nearby were other shapes, pyramids aligned to each other, mound formations in geometric grids. Structures not random, but placed with purpose, like messages waiting to be decoded. Haas studied these patterns and concluded that these were not accidents of erosion. They were ruins, ruins of a society that once watched the stars. Perhaps even traveled among them, but then silence. The Cydonians vanished, leaving only dust behind. Why? Some say a cataclysm destroyed them, perhaps even a nuclear war. Faint radiation signatures have been detected in the soil. Giant scars, deep gashes, and glassy surfaces mark parts of Mars like the blast zones of forgotten weapons. A planet burned from within or from the sky. So now we must ask, if the disk in the NASA photo is real, if it truly crashed, then perhaps it was a ship trying to escape, a final attempt to leave a dying world and failed. Or perhaps It never belonged to the Sidonians at all. Perhaps it was a visitor from somewhere else, drawn to Mars just as we are by the mystery of what once lived there, and like so many before it, it too was swallowed by the dust, and beings with pale skin and eyes too large for their faces. They are called the Greys, small in size, emotionless, cold, technologically superior, and watching. Some say they arrived at Roswell in 1947, their ship crashing in the desert, recovered by men in black uniforms, never seen again. Others claim they were never gone, that they move between worlds quietly, operating outside time, studying us as if we are their experiment. But what if Roswell was only one crash among many? What if another of their ships lost control? Not over New Mexico, but over Mars. The craft in the NASA photo looks nothing like our probes. It doesn't match any human design. But it does match the descriptions told by hundreds, perhaps thousands of witnesses over the past century. A disk, metallic, seamless, curved, and most chilling of all, still intact. If the Greys were on Mars, why? Were they exploring the ruins of the Sidonians, harvesting something beneath the surface? Or were they returning? Some theories say Mars was never dead, only sleeping, and that ancient visitors, perhaps the Greys, once used it as a way station, a base, long before humans took their first breath. Could this disk be one of their ships? Left behind, crashed, or simply waiting? There is something else. The position of the object, how it nestles into the Martian dust, looks too perfect, not smashed, not shattered. As if it landed intentionally or was gently pulled down from the sky. Some believe it didn't fall, it descended. And if the Greys have been visiting Earth for millennia, if they have watched us from behind the veil of stars, then maybe, just maybe, we were never the only world under observation. For every mystery, science searches for a cause, a formula, a pattern, a truth grounded not in belief but in evidence. So when the strange photo of the disk-like object on Mars reached public eyes, scientists did what they do best. They began to analyze, dissect, explain. NASA geologist Dr. Bob Anderson was one of the first to weigh in. To him, the discovery was interesting, but not unexplainable. The object, he claimed, lay within a vast region known as Candor Chasma, part of the immense Valles Marineris, the Grand Canyon of Mars. A network of natural cracks and ancient faults stretching thousands of kilometers. And those parallel lines? Dr. Anderson suggested they weren't crash trails at all, but simply tectonic fractures, formed over eons by pressure beneath the Martian crust. As for the disk itself, he said it could be nothing more than a wind-shaped dune or an oddly exposed outcrop. The winds on Mars, after all, are powerful. They can sculpt dust into strange forms, hollowed, rimmed, sometimes even circular. But still, questions remain. Why does the trench stop exactly at the base of the object? Why does the rim appear so perfectly arced, like a manufactured shell? Why doesn't it look like anything else nearby? Even astrophotographer Andrew McCarthy, known for his scientific caution, was unconvinced. To him, the image didn't resemble any known natural formation, and it certainly didn't match the patterns seen in meteor impacts, where shallow angles create long, elliptical scars. No, this one was different, and then came the heat shield theory. Some proposed that the disk could be a broken component from a past Mars probe, a piece of metal that detached during landing. But this, too, raised doubts. Because the trench it carved, deep, wide, and straight, would require more mass, more speed, more force than any heat shield could deliver. And besides, the object was still intact, not crumpled, not shattered, just sitting, waiting. Could nature produce such geometry? Could coincidence explain such symmetry? Or was science, for once, staring at something it couldn't yet name? In the battle between evidence and intuition, between the known and the unexplainable, this image lives in the quiet space between both, where theories break down and imagination begins. Or did something truly crash on Mars? Could it be the relic of a forgotten Martian race, a silent message left by ancient beings? Or maybe a warning? We may never know the full truth, but one thing is certain: this object should not be there. And yet, it is. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think it is? Share your theory in the comments. And if you enjoyed diving into the unknown, make sure to subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Here on X Site, the truth is out there, and we're going to find it.